Okay, I'm just going to do a quick review on the negative externality and positive externalities. It's 14 multiple choice questions. It'll probably be the free response. So I think it's important to know these graphs. Now, I didn't give parallel lines. I just want to show you something different than we usually see. If I was graphing this, I would just do the parallel lines the way we have. Okay. In a question, either a free response or multiple choice, how might I know is it a negative externality? Well, anytime they talk about external cost, it's going to be a negative externality, or a third party negatively impacted by either pollution, secondhand smoke, or something like that would be a negative externality. And anytime, like graphically, if you're seeing it, when MPC is smaller than MSC, it's a negative externality. So we're going to look at the negative externality. When MPC equals MSB at A, that's the market. So without any government intervention, that's what the market's going to. And then from A to C is what we would call the external cost, okay, or spillover cost. And that causes that triangle, which is what they are referring to here as welfare loss or deadweight loss, okay? The deadweight loss occurs because we're overly allocating. The free market is producing, say, more cigarettes than what is socially efficient or allocatively efficient or socially optimal, which is at B, okay? So here, in a negative externality, you're over allocated. Okay. All right. So again, the socially optimal is where the marginal social cost crosses the marginal social benefit at B. All right. We talked about overallocation, and the red line from A to C is the external cost. Now, I put numbers there because I think sometimes it's easier to see. So the number at C is 9, at A is 5. So the external cost would be $4. 9 minus 5 giving you 4. So in this instance, if government wants to get us to the socially optimal, they would tax $4. Now, if they wanted to be tricky on a multiple choice, or probably more on a free response, if you tax less than $4, you're not getting to the socially optimal. All right, so there still would be a little deadweight loss. And if you tax more than $4, you're not going to get to the socially optimal. Say if you tax $6, you're going to be out here somewhere. Okay, so you're still not going to be at the socially optimal. There, you're going to be making too little than society wants. So I'd just be, just conscious that, the tax should equal the external cost. All right, and that will get you to socially optimal. Now, a lot of times they'll say, after the tax, so after the tax, we're at B, right? Because so the first thing after the tax, we're at B, we're at socially optimal. There is no deadweight loss. But they might say after the tax, what is price and quantity compared to the market? Well, if you look, B is now $7 and it originally was 5. All right, so price went up. And if you look at Q free market compared to Q1, quantity went down. So the tax will increase price and decrease quantity. All right, and again, eliminate deadweight loss because you're at socially optimal. In all these situations and all externalities, you are trying to get to socially optimal. If you get to socially optimal, there is no deadweight loss. Now, they also like to ask at the market cost, which is A, right? Which is greater, marginal private cost or marginal social cost? Well, A is marginal private cost. C is where marginal social cost is. So marginal social cost is greater than marginal private cost. All right. So it's very important when on the multiple choice, when they ask questions like that, to graph them or look at graphs, because there'll probably be graphs on some of the multiple choice already done for you. So you could just look at those graphs and look at these answers. You don't have to memorize anything. Again, at the free market, marginal social benefit is less than marginal social cost because A is smaller than C. All right. And you just could look at your graph for this. You know, if they ask you after the tax, is price greater, lesser? Well, you look after the tax, the price goes up. So it would eliminate memorizing. Okay. So those are some of the things. So just make sure you can graph this. It's private cost, social cost to supply. You're always going from private to social. In both situations, you're taking the market line straight up here to the supply curve and a positive to the other demand curve. And that's going to give you both your deadweight loss, and that line's going to be your external benefit. Okay. In that situation. Now, we have looked at a couple of them that then asked you if you did a price ceiling, would that fix the externality? So I'm going to just graph my price ceiling here. Okay. Now, would it fix my externality? Now, you know, like if you, it's funny for the negative externality here, your price ceiling actually is helping, right? Because you're going to go to your market supply curve because you really, this one, MSC doesn't exist because you haven't taxed yet. And if you look here, you know, where it intersects, I got closer to socially optimal because even though people are going to demand here, doesn't matter. We're only going to, you know, supply here. So I did get closer to socially optimal here. A price ceiling on a negative externality could be helpful because both ceilings and floors are going to get you to produce less than you would produce in the market. And in a negative externality, you're looking to produce less. Okay. But all you have to do is draw that and look at that. Now, here's another thing that they could ask you just to try to confuse you. How would a subsidy help this negative externality? Well, a subsidy which would shift MPC to the right, and that would get you further away from socially optimal, increasing deadweight loss and making the externality, the negative externality, even worse. Okay. All right. I think that wraps it up for negatives. And let's see, could we shift into a positive? All right, there's your positive externality. I did the same crazy thing, not having straight lines. And okay, so let's look, first of all, how would you know it's a positive externality? Here would be from A to C is considered an external benefit. The third party would benefit. So I don't get the flu because Steve got a flu shot. I get to watch someone's fireworks for free in my house because, you know, I'm just looking outside. Those are third party externalities. Right. And here you have the market at A, right? MSC with MPB. Remember, you always find the market where the private intersects the social, you know, and then you have the socially efficient where MSC crosses MSB. All right, notice here, we are under allocating, right? On the free markets at Q and at Q1, we are under allocating. So this time there's an under allocation of fees. Again, your external benefits, if I just draw a price here, and again, make this 9 and this 5, your external benefits would be 4. And to fix this externality, government would have to produce a $4 subsidy. Okay. And, you know, when we got to the $4 subsidy, we'd get to B, and there would be no deadweight loss because we'd be at our socially optimal. Now here too, they like to ask the after tax, you know, after subsidy, what happens to price and quantity? Well, if you look you know, you're going from A to B, price is up. You're going from A to B, quantities up. So price and quantity are up, and there is no deadweight loss. They also like to ask at A, is the marginal private benefit greater than the marginal social benefit? Well, look at A, the marginal private benefit, say, would be in tune with the line 5. The marginal social benefit would be 9. So no, the marginal private benefit is not greater, okay? And then they could also ask the same thing. At the market price, is the marginal social cost greater than the marginal social benefit? Well, at the market price, the marginal social cost is 5. The marginal social benefit is 9. And just like a negative externality, if you look around, you know, this is going to, you know, help you. You know, if you look at these, it's going to help you answer the questions, and you don't have to memorize as much. All right. Now here, if we put in a price ceiling, and by the way, again, no memorization on these. Just, you know, when you get to, you know, if they ask you like the impact of a price ceiling, you just gotta put it on a graph, even if it's a multiple choice. You just put it on a graph, and there it is. All right, so there is my price ceiling. It's binding. It is below the market price. And even though here people are going to be demanding a lot, and I'm going with the MPB because there's no subsidy, right? People are going to be demanding a lot, but we're going to be supplying only here. So it doesn't matter what people are demanding. They can only purchase what's actually supplied. So this hurts us, right? It gets us further away from socially optimal. So it doesn't cure the positive externality in that respect. And as I said with the other one, you know, beware of them saying here what would happen for a tax. You know, again, a tax would shift MSC. Let's just do this one because it's not as easy maybe to see. Okay, a tax would shift MSC. Why is this not printing? All right, hang in there. I don't know, but it would shift MSC to the left and say intersect with demand, and quantity would be less, right? So if the quantity is less, you're getting further away from socially efficient, and therefore it is not going to help you. All right, I think that sums up the externalities. Again, I would graph them how we have been graphing them. I wouldn't use these lines. I just showed you them. So if they did show up on a test or something, you had seen them. But if I was graphing a positive externality, I would graph it like the regular demand curves, like parallel to each other. and then a supply curve. It just makes it easier. All right. And just remember, there's my market that goes up. But any spot that's easy to tell, like the difference between the demand curves, that would give you your external benefit. So this could give you the external benefit over here. And even though this isn't dead weight, the dead weight loss is always in this box, right? The market line straight up. All right. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, you could ask me in class. Thank you.